question 5 of 2023. Okay, paper biology paper 2. So the first question is saying, define the following terms used in genetics. A, one here, recessive allele. It is allocated 2 marks. 2, phenotype, which is 2 marks as well. Then we've been given this scenario here that Jenny has blood group O and has a child of blood group B. Okay? She accuses John of blood group AB to be the father of her child. With the help of a genetic diagram, determine the possible offspring to conclude whether or not John could be the father. Okay? Whether or not John could be the father. So this is under blood group inheritance in humans. But before we go to the genetic diagram here, let's quickly answer the first two genetic terms there. Okay? A recessive allele. What is a recessive allele? This is grade 12. This is grade 12. What is a recessive allele? Okay? So, first of all, an allele is just an alternative form of a given gene. Okay? An alternative form of a given gene, and each organism that reproduces sexually has two or a pair of allele. Okay? A pair of allele. Then look at this. What is a recessive allele and a dominant allele? Recessive allele is one that is overshadowed, okay? That was overshadowed in the phenotype by the presence of let me just write this one on a plain paper. Okay? So say a recessive allele is one that is overshadowed. Okay? That is overshadowed in the phenotype. I'll explain these terms, don't worry. In the phenotype by the presence of a dominant allele. Dominant allele. Let me explain this definition. So a recessive allele is one that is overshadowed in the phenotype by the presence of a dominant allele. Now, what is the phenotype? Phenotype is the outward expression of the of a given gene, outward expression of a genotype. Okay? So how is this overshadowed? Or by what? It is overshadowed by a dominant allele. Okay? A dominant allele is the one that is expressed in the phenotype. Okay? For example, if I have something like this, capital letter T, small letter t. Capital letter T here represents a dominant allele. Small letter t here a recessive allele. This capital letter T is dominant. So writing like this, it means that this small letter t is is overshadowed by this. If small letter t represents shortness, for example, and capital T dominant, what it means is if this is for tall and this is for short, meaning this tall will be dominant. Okay, it's the dominant allele. You look tall, but you are just carrying a gene of shortness. Okay, that's what it means when you say a recessive what? A recessive allele. Okay, then we have the second question here. We are asked to define phenotype. Cool. Phenotype. I think this is the one which is even in this definition. Phenotype. So what is phenotype? Phenotype is just the outward, okay? The outward expression of the genotype, okay? Of the genotype in the form of physical characteristics or traits. Physical characteristics. Okay? Physical characteristics of what? Of organisms. Or of an organism. This is 2 marks. Now, look at this. Check. Phenotype is the outwards expression, okay? The outwards expression of the genotype. What is a genotype? This is the genetic what? The genetic composition, okay? Genetic composition. For example, if I just write, let's use this T like this. This is the genotype. Okay, it's not clear. Someone is saying it's not clear. How is it now? Is it the same? Is it clear now? Okay, better. Thank you. So this is the genotype. Now, outward expression, interpreting this, you can say, oh, since this one is dominant, this one is recessive, and I said that capital T represents toe, then you can say the organism is toe. Now saying toe-ness is the phenotype, which is the outward expression. Okay, let's get back. Let's now look at this question here. Jane has blood group O and has a child of blood group B. Okay? She accuses John of blood group AB to be the father of her child. Okay? Now, we are asked here to do what? With the help of the genetic diagram, we use the genetic diagram to determine whether John is the father or not. Okay? Could be the father or not. This is very simple. You can even know the answer before you even draw your genetic diagram. How? There are some possibilities that you should know when it comes to blood group inheritance in humans. Number 1, a couple, okay? A couple where one partner has blood group AB can never have a child with blood group what? Blood group O. Okay? Now, since we are told to cross O and AB, let's try if at all we are going to have a child with blood group what? B. So the first thing when it comes to genetic diagram, let me just write a man here, then woman. Okay? Man, woman. Then next is you are going to write the what? The parental phenotype. Okay? Parental phenotype. So I'm going to say here parental phenotype. Okay. Phenotype. Okay, let me just write parental phenotype. For a man is what? Phenotype is blood group what? Man blood group AB, blood group what? AB. Now this one is crossed with a woman with blood group. Okay, I'm just shortening here, but when you're just writing, write blood group because I just want it to fit. A woman is blood group O. Okay, blood group O. Now, what is the parental genotype? So, parental genotype, the genetic combination or composition. Now, blood group AB, okay, blood group AB, so we know that allele, we use I, so this one, the parental genotype for blood group A, AB, we have something like this, okay, A, then B. Why AB is like this? Because both A and B, blood group A and B are dominant over each other, meaning they are codominant, okay, codominant. Then blood group O, since blood group O is recessive, so for you to have a person with blood group O, it means that both allele is what? O, okay? Both allele is what? O. The next thing here, we're going to have what? Gametes. Gametes, we're just going to space these two, okay? We're going to write like this. Let's put this one in the circle. Then with this one, we're going to say like this, okay? Let's do the same this side. This is O. Okay. This is also allele O. So these are the gametes. Now let's do the crossing. So random fertilization. We're going to start with this one straight with the. So we have this one with this one. So number one with this, we're going to have start with the dominant one. So A is dominant over O. So this one will be like this. Okay. Still here with the last one here like this. Start with the dominant, and A is dominant over allele over blood group O here. Let's come to this. B is also dominant over O, so we're going to start with B, then O. Last one here, this will be B O. Okay, B O. So this is the F1 generation, okay? F1 generation or offspring genotype. F1 or offspring genotype, okay? Genotype, okay? Genotype. Now, what is the phenotype? What is the interpretation of this? F1 pheno what? Phenotype, okay? Phenotype here, a person with the AO, it means the person is blood group what? A. Okay? A person with AO, even here blood group A, BO is B, okay? Then BO even here is B. Okay? It's B. Remember the question is saying, let's go to the question. Jane has blood group O and has a child of blood group B. She accuses John of blood group AB to be the father of her child. With the help of So with the help of a genetic diagram, determine the possible offspring to conclude whether or not John could be the father. So according to the genetic diagram here, yes, it's possible. John could be the father. Okay, so you can say, you can conclude here. So you can say John could be the father. Simple. Okay, John could be the what? John could be the father, because it's possible. By the way, this is fertilization. Okay, so it's possible you can have a child with blood group B. All right, so wa John ndiye bene ba mwana bangakhale bene ba mwana anyway. It is also possible kuti usenzo mvera malapula we. Okay, that's it guys. Where are you watching from this afternoon? Remember, those who have just joined, we have already defined what a recessive allele is, and what phenotype, the definition of a phenotype. So a recessive allele, I said that a recessive allele is one that is overshadowed in the phenotype by the presence of a dominant what? Dominant allele. Then phenotype here, a phenotype is simply the outward expression of the genotype in the form of what? Physical characteristics of an organism. All right, physical characteristics of an organism. Can you please do a video on mitosis and meiosis, Boy's law and Charles' law? Okay, we'll see if we have time on my schedule. Okay.